This is your primetime forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia from Dr. Don's Weather. Dr. Don's Weather is made possible by the Randolph County Commission, Heron's Tree Service, Roger Bell Auto Brokers, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, and Bama Diesel Repair. From the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery, Southern Union State Community College, and the venue at 5 Points Farms. Here's Dr. Don.
Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Welcome to your Friday, September 8th, 2023. This is your primetime forecast, and it's Grandparents' Day on the West Bank over in Wadley, Alabama today, and yours truly, along with producer Tracy, will be there. Looking forward to our visit over in Wadley this afternoon. Thank you, Southern Auction Solutions, for making Dr. Don's Weather possible. If you have auction needs, get in touch with them at 334-885-1787. Remember, let us turn your assets into cash. It is Southern Auction Solutions. Also, thank you this morning to our good buddy, Jamie Dukas. He can handle your insurance needs. You got a barn dominium? Are you building one? Are you looking at purchasing one? Well, they're hard to get insurance on, but Jamie has figured out a way to make it happen. All you got to do is scan that QR code there on the screen. Give Jamie a call at 256-831-7770 or click the link at the top of the video to get in touch with Jamie Dukas and find out how much money Jamie can put back in your pocket today. Also, head over to our YouTube channel, click that subscribe button and the little bell so that when we go live to cover severe weather, you'll get that notification. So here's the dealio for today. Not a whole lot happening across Alabama or Georgia. We've got some really stubborn thunderstorms down in extreme southern Georgia and northern Florida that hung out all night long. Thought those things would fade away after sunset last night, but they didn't. So some pretty stormy weather down there in areas that are still trying to recover from the hurricane from last week. And then we have an MCS complex coming out of Arkansas that's going to bring a chance of severe weather today across portions of eastern Texas, southern Arkansas, and down into Louisiana. But that should stay out of Alabama. Then looking at Saturday, just a very slight chance of a shower across East Alabama and West Georgia. No big deal at all. You'll notice that's over on the eastern side of Alabama, so you folks headed to T-Town tomorrow for the Alabama-Texas game, not much to worry about as far as rain is concerned. And then on Sunday, the same. We're looking at a slight chance of a shower across the eastern half of Alabama and across the state of Georgia. Looking at the tropics this morning, and folks, give me just a minute. Let me step up to the podium and let me get my sermon out for you. Fear mongering. I mean, I don't know what else to say. If you pay attention to that hogwash over there, I hadn't said that in a minute. If you're paying attention to the hogwash you're seeing on social media, please don't. There are people out there that's trying to scare you half to death by telling you all this nonsense about Lee merging with another storm and it becoming this big, huge superstorm out in the Atlantic. It's going to be the worst storm system that's ever ravished the United States and all this kind of crap. And that, excuse my language, but that's a lot nicer than what I want to say. These people are ridiculous, and don't buy into that stuff. Yes, Lee is an extremely powerful and dangerous hurricane at Category 5. We're talking winds in excess of 165 miles per hour this morning, and a good chance Lee will strengthen even more as it moves toward the southeastern United States, but it's going to turn. We are not anticipating Lee making or having any type of major impact across the United States. Here's the latest this morning. We're talking movement to the west-northwest at 14 miles per hour. It's a Category 5 hurricane. By 2 a.m. Wednesday morning, it's still going to be down there in the just north of Puerto Rico. But then by the time it makes it a little further to the northwest, it's going to turn to the north and then eventually back off to the northeast. Now, could the northeastern states feel the effects of Lee in about a week from now? Yes, that's certainly possible. But this storm is not going to affect the southeastern United States. There's all this stuff out there where it shows two different systems merging together and becoming this big, huge superstorm. Nonsense, folks. Nonsense. Weather has been taking place since the day the good Lord turned the light switch on, okay? And it's going to be continuing well after we're all gone from this earth. Weather is weather. If you go back and look at historical records, you'll see stuff like this. This has been happening since the beginning of time. Do we go through periods where we have more storms and then periods where we have less storms? Absolutely. But that's normal. That's the way it works. All this, well, you don't even want me to get me off on the global warming thing and the green stuff. But I'm telling you, people, of course, you can believe what you want to believe, but I'm telling you, this is nothing out of the ordinary. Look, we went the first 2 months of hurricane season with almost absolutely nothing out there in the tropics. And we've been telling you that at some point we were going to see a lot of action and we would probably see some pretty big hurricanes. Well, that's what we're seeing. This is the way the ocean releases its energy. So we set out there for 2 months with absolutely no release whatsoever. So that pressure has been building and building and building, and that pressure being the heat, basically in the water. And now all of a sudden the cap is off and these storms are exploding. Absolutely no surprise here whatsoever. With Lee being a Category 5, it is a big, bad, nasty storm, no question. But it ain't coming to the United States, or at least the southeastern United States, and it's not going to merge with another hurricane and become this big, huge super hurricane like we've never seen before. Nonsense. Please don't pay attention to that stuff. Okay, we'll pass the plate here in just a few moments. All right, taking a look at the current conditions at the venue at 5 Points Farms in 5 Points, Alabama. Currently 64 this morning under fair skies. Wind out of the north at 1, gusting to 2. The humidity 95%. Barometric pressure 29.92. 62-degree dew point. No rain the past 24 hours. We're getting awfully dry. High temperature yesterday was 89. Sunrise this morning, 6:19 a.m. And the sun sets this evening at 6:58 p.m. Headed for 85 in Roanoke, 84 in Ashland, Lineville. Wedowee will make it to 85. Ranbert at 84. And LaGrange will top out this afternoon at 86 degrees. 6-day forecast from the Alpha Weather Center. Jamie Dukas, your local Alpha agent. Mostly sunny today. Pretty nice Friday. It's going to be warm. 85 will be your high this afternoon. 64 the overnight low for high school football. I'll show you that forecast in a bit. So Saturday, we're looking at a 20% chance of a shower. Again, most everybody will not see a raindrop on Saturday. But it's possible. AM sun, maybe some showers in the afternoon, 85. 20% chance of rain during the overnight Saturday night. Now, this is over on the eastern side of Alabama. So you tailgaters going to T-Town, I don't think you have to worry about any rain over there. On Sunday, we're looking at a 20% chance of a shower. Again, that would be in the afternoon. 84 will be your high. And then Monday and Tuesday, mostly sunny. Our next chance of rain will come in on Wednesday with a 30% chance of rain, high of 83. No real good, decent, beneficial rainfall on the horizon out there on the forecast. That's unfortunate because, like I said, we are getting awfully dry across the southeastern United States. Oops, let's back up one. Here we go with the Southern Union State Community College Live Doppler HD radar. Two distinct areas of activity, one being up here in Arkansas. That's an MCX complex just east of Oklahoma City, diving to the southeast. But that's going to affect Arkansas, maybe Portions of eastern Texas, Louisiana, maybe Mississippi should stay out of Alabama. Then down here in southern Georgia, we have that storm system that moved through yesterday. We had some really big storms down here in middle and southern Georgia yesterday afternoon. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, lots of flooding. And now it's down in the area that was hit by the hurricane last week, so that's hampering their cleanup efforts. Then let me zoom out and show you what we're talking about out here with Lee. There's Lee spinning this morning at Category 5. We expect, Lee's at 165 mile per hour sustained winds right now, and that could increase to 170, maybe even up to 180 mile per hour winds before we start to see Lee drop off a little bit when it gets just north of San Juan out there in the out there in the tropics. And then as the storm continues moving west-northwest, at some point, it is going to turn. Now, I got to tell you, the long-range confidence here is pretty good, and there's a reason for that. We have low pressure across the southeastern United States, and then we have several different centers of low pressure and high pressure. All of that is what steers the hurricane. So it's almost a given that this storm has to turn to the north in a couple of 2 or 3 days. And when it does that, it's going to start moving to the north, and so it won't be moving toward the southeastern United States anymore. I've gotten several text messages from folks who are going down to maybe the Bahamas and different locations down in the Caribbean on vacation, and at the moment, I think you're fine. Certainly pay attention to the weather forecast. The sea is going to be pretty rough down here, but the hurricane's not going to affect the Bahamas. It's just not going to. It's going to turn to the north, given the current forecast on this storm. And again, if this was 20 years ago, I would still be nervous about exactly where the track is going to go, but the National Hurricane Center has just gotten really good at being able to forecast a future track of a hurricane. So, I mean, they nailed the last 3 or 4 hurricanes that we've had in the United States. I don't think there's any worries. This storm turns back up to the north. And it is not going to merge with this other storm. Boy, that just makes my blood boil when I see stuff like that. Total nonsense, folks. If it seems stupid, weird, out of the ordinary, it probably is. So take your social media with a grain of salt when you're watching this stuff out there. TikTok in particular has become really bad about fear-mongers and folks out there. All they're trying to do is get clicks. They're trying to get you to go tell their buddy, hey, you need to go look at this on TikTok. Or they're trying to get you to send your friend a link to their video on TikTok so they can sit back and say, look, I went viral. Yeah, it's all a bunch of nonsense. Don't buy into it. As we look at the Dr. Don coverage area across East Alabama and West Georgia, we see that there is no precipitation out there this morning. Hey, don't forget to follow us over on Twitter. It's at DSTREN1040. We broadcast all of our weather information on Twitter, just as we do on Facebook, YouTube, and at drdonwx.com. Don't forget to text the word ALERT to 265-540-8664. That is Randolph County's HyperReach. If you'll text ALERT to that number, then you will enroll into receiving their weather notifications and local emergency information from the Randolph County Emergency Management Agency. Thank you, Genesis Weight Clinic, and all the fine folks you see scrolling on the screen for supporting us here, Dr. Don's Weather. If you own a business and you would like to be a partner with us here on Dr. Don's Weather, all you have to do is send me a message on Messenger, and I can have you started by the time we do our next weather forecast. I'm going to take a day off tomorrow. I'll see you back in here first thing Sunday morning on Dr. Don's Weather. Look out, West Bank. Here we come.
This has been your primetime forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia from the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Southern Union State Community College. The venue at Five Points Farms and Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery. Dr. Don's Weather is supported by the Randolph County Commission, Heron's Tree Service, Roger Bell Auto Brokers, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, and Bama Diesel Repair. Be sure to like us on Facebook, share us with all of your friends, and subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow morning with another edition of your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's Weather.